Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Angela, and today's topic is going to be how to heal your mental after an abusive relationship. And I'm going to share with you a few of the things that I did, and I hope that this helped. Before we start, though, I want to read my disclaimers. Please remember, if you are in immediate danger, please call 911, or you can reach out to the domestic hotline at 800-799-SAFE. 800-799-7233. NAMI also for mental resources is 800-950-NAMI. 800-950-6264, or you can text NAMI at 741741. Please remember to like my videos, subscribe, and share. And with that being said, let me explain to you a few of the things that I did, or share with you some of the tips that I did to help me get past this. You know, I understand that now that the relationship is over, that you may feel lonely and you may feel abandoned. And that's okay. It's fine. And don't beat yourself up for having these feelings. That's perfectly normal. Even if you are not in an abusive relationship, you would have the same feelings. And the reason you feel this way is because of the amount of time that you spent with this person. Even though it wasn't healthy and it wasn't right, it was a relationship that you was in. And sometimes it was okay and sometimes it was good. So you may be missing that. But I want you to remember that this person was never good for you. Things happen for a reason. And the children that you had are meant to be here. So don't feel bad that you stayed in this relationship and you brought children in the world. They were meant to be here. So I like to say that everything happens for a reason. These are your angels if you have children. These are the reasons that gave you hope to get out of this relationship when you maybe couldn't feel the need to walk out when it was just you. You had a reason to leave. So don't ever look down on yourself for staying. Don't look down on yourself for having a family with this person. Just be thankful that you are now out of the relationship, and that's the most positive step you could have made. And also, you know, I understand that if you do have small children, that he may have visitation rights. But as we spoke about in the last video, make sure you put a system in place to where you don't have to be the one to drop the kids off or even see him. You know, the courts have mediators that they will put in place for you. They can pick up the kids and drop them off and pick them back up. I mean, it depends on what type of visitations that the person has. Since the person that I was with wasn't abusive to the children, the course gave him visitations every weekend. Every other weekend, I think it was. He could come and pick them up Fridays and bring them back on Sundays. So that's how mine was in place. And it was, since they were all in school or daycare, he would pick them up from the daycare, and on Sundays, he had to ride with someone to drop them off. So I really didn't have to see this person. And it's not to say that he didn't still try to come towards me. Like I'll say, he would call, and what I started to do was give the phone to the oldest child because there was nothing we had to talk about. So I would just give the phone to the child so they could talk when I saw that he was calling. When he was with the kids and he would call, I would let it go to voicemail. Sometimes because you're not sure if there's an urgent call coming through, especially if he called more than once, I would pick up the phone, and of course he would say, it's your fault that you broke up the family. You need to stop this so we can get back together. So I would always remind him that there was a restraining order that was in place. So these are some of the things that you have to do to get through this. And I can understand it could be stressful and it could be really hard mentally. So talk to someone. NAMI is a great resource, and they can give you information on how to talk to someone. I know therapy can be expensive. If you can't afford it, if you don't have a job that will give you those type of benefits, then paying out of the pocket is very costly. So, but there are other things in place. I know, especially nowadays, there are systems that, they'll give you free services. So look into that if you need someone to talk to. Try going to a church and talking to a pastor. Talk to someone that is outside of your circle, and explain what's going on. And what I did was I talked to the best counselor in the world, and that was God. For I prayed for healing. I talked to him on a daily basis. I read my scriptures. I did whatever it took to help me get through this. And I'm not saying that everyone believes this way, but it did work for me. So that's something, that if you do have a spiritual background, utilize that. It helped me a lot. And then also, don't forget who you are. That's the most important thing. Make a list. Make a list of the things that you like to do before you met this person, before you became involved with this person. Pick up what you like to do. I had children. So I said in one of my videos that I wanted to be a family. I wanted to be a housewife. So now that the husband is gone, I still have a family. So I became a really good homemaker for my children. I didn't date right after the relationship. I invested time in raising them, spending time with them. We had fun. Every time he wasn't visiting them, I made it a point to make them happy. And I talked to them about their visits. I never talked down about this person to them. I just wanted to make sure that they were not being in an abusive situation. And when things did go awry, I was aware of it and I could stop it. So that's the most important thing. If you have children and things, that he may be doing things to get back to you, to the children, stop it. Don't let this cycle continue. Like I said, I always told my children, accept the person that he is. This is when they got much older, but don't lay down your values to be a part of his life. So it's important for young kids, make sure you talk to them, keep an open conversation with them, let them know that you're there to protect them. Don't make them feel afraid, but make sure that you know what's going on. And I'm thankful to say that once he did start seeing the kids, he was dating other women. And the women that were in my children's lives were very good to my children. I won't call the name, but this one lady, she was, to me, a godsend. She made sure that she kept in communication with me about what was going on with my kids. She never did anything to hurt my kids, and they actually cared for this woman. My children, they liked her a whole lot. So that was a blessing for me. God placed this woman in my children's life to be there, because who knows how he was going to react if someone wasn't there. And then a lot of the times the kids would be with their grandmother, his mother. So when he would pick them up, he would visit with them for a little and just leave them there for the weekend. And she always would call and let me know, and that was another blessing. I didn't have to worry about if he was being mean to the children. So they had love around them. So that was a blessing for me that took off the ease. And in this situation, it didn't stop him from trying to come back, but I kept the restraining order in place. And with that being said, he understood that if he came around, that I was going to call the police. Thankfully, we didn't have to go back to court because it started to die down. I mean, he would always call. He would leave messages. They can't do too much when a person call and leave you messages. because he wasn't in the vicinity. So he just left messages. He did that. But I learned to ignore. If the kids wasn't there, there was no reason for me to pick up the phone. I knew who I could call to check on the kids. So I had a system in place. And that helped me out a lot because knowing that my kids are safe was a big relief. So if you have children, make sure you have a system in place. It's very important for your mental health. And then also know this, you are not damaged goods. You know, I kind of hate that phrase because you are still good. You may be damaged, but you are still, you're not damaged good, meaning that I can take you and work with you, but you still have a big bruise. You've been damaged, but you're going to come up out of that. You're not going to walk around with that label of damaged goods. You're healing from that. So it's just like having a bruise. Say you bump up against a table and you have a bruise that's black and blue on your leg. So after a few days or so, it starts to go away. Often it doesn't always leave a mark. Sometimes it does, and you have to use a cream to clear the mark up. But most of the time it doesn't leave one. But even though you hurt yourself, it goes away. So look at it that way. You've been in an abusive relationship. You've been hurt mentally and physically, but you're doing what it takes to heal from that. So don't label yourself as damaged good. Label yourself as being good. You are worthy and you are worth love. Just understand what loves mean to you. What I would do is make a list of all the things that you love to do, what makes you happy. And then almost like a bucket list, but not a bucket list since you're not planning the end, but a happy list, something that can help you get through the days that you feel like, why did I waste this time in this relationship? I'm never going to get anyone else. You know, make a list just for you. Start to help yourself. What I did when I got out of this relationship, I continued to write. I like to write. My poems changed. It showed the happier side of me. Of course, I wrote about the abuse, but then I started to write about being free from it and the happier side and the things that I love to do and the family that I had. And also understand that when people compliment you, they don't always want something. It's just a compliment. Learn to accept compliments. Learn that you are beautiful and that you will find someone when God sends the right person to you. And when you do start dating, know that it's okay to date someone and for whatever reason break up. But you now know the signs of an abuser, so you won't have to stay longer. When you see things that are not going right in a relationship, quickly get out of it. You know, don't waste time because wasting time is only delaying you from your blessings and from the person that God has for you. And I'm speaking from experience on that. Like I said, I didn't date a lot with my, while I had my children. I focused on raising them a lot more, but I did date and I met some wonderful people. We just didn't work out. And you know, it is what it is. I dated, I had normal relationships. I never had anyone to put their hands on me. When things didn't work out, it was a mutual breakup and I felt good. And after that, I just decided, for a while, dating wasn't for me. I still was raising my kids. I wanted to focus on me. I wanted to see what I had to offer to the world. I wanted to, you know, just do things that made me happy. So that's what I focus on. And I am going to come back with other ways on how I healed myself in a later video. I just wanted to share this really briefly, and I hope that this helps someone. I hope that you realize that you are beautiful, you are loved, and you are wonderful. You are a wonderful creation and a wonderful addition to God's creation. So thank you for listening, and please remember to like and subscribe.